Flotilla is facing failure, led by the environmental activist girl Greta trying to break into Gaza for humanitarian aid. But why? Simply because all the Western escort warships have withdrawn. First was the Italian warship, the very first to turn back and stop escorting. From World War I to World War II, Italy was always the first to surrender. Next, the Spanish warships slowed down and pulled back 10 nautical miles behind the rescue flotilla, abandoning its mission. Seeing that Italy and Spain had withdrawn, Turkey didn't dare confront Israel alone, so it immediately pulled out. Turkey not only withdrew its TB2 drones, but also evacuated Turkish nationals from the flotilla. You might ask, if they are all afraid of Israel, why did they join the escort in the first place? Now that they've withdrawn, isn't it even more humiliating to them? The main reason is Israel's sheer aggressiveness. To stop the flotilla from breaking the Gaza blockade, Israel deployed over 600 naval police and dispatched warships in advance. Israel prepared two options. First, to directly sink the international rescue ships. Second, to intercept them, seize the vessels, and arrest the activists. At present, two Colombians and Greta herself have already been arrested. The flotilla, which boasted more than 50 ships, has one fatal weakness. It has no weapons at all, just civilian vessels. Of course, its very lack of weapons is also its greatest weapon. If Israel were to sink all these ships, the victims would instantly become global martyrs for humanity, while Israel would face enormous international backlash. The Israeli method was simple: intercept, board, arrest, and then seize the ships. To intimidate others, the Israeli Navy was ready to sink one or two of the vessels as a warning. For Israel, the lives of international civilians simply don't matter. Its stance is crystal clear. No matter what nationality, anyone who tries to break the Gaza blockade, Israel is even willing to extend the war to third-party neutral countries. Even Europeans would not spare it. Next, let's talk about the so-called escort fleet of Italy, Spain, and Turkey. They were there for show. Take Italy's Prime Minister Meloni. She's pro-America and even nicknamed the European Trump. During the US-EU trade disputes, she refused the confrontation and chose compromise. As I said before, her excessive pro-US and pro-Israel stance triggered massive anti-Israel and pro-Palestine protests in Italy. Forced by public anger, she staged this escort mission to calm people down. From the start, Italy never really intended to fight Israel. Now, after this humiliating retreat, have her guess how the Italian people will respond. Spain acted more aggressively. It banned all Israeli ships from passing through its borders and even talked about cutting off arms sales to Israel. But Spain is no match for Israel. Its warships cannot withstand Israeli F-35 strikes. As for Turkey, it has always wavered and played both sides. It only deployed TB2 drones after seeing Spain and Italy send ships. But once those two pulled out, Turkey quickly followed suit. History has shown again and again that alliances are rarely reliable, with extremely low credibility. Third, the fact that these NATO members formed a so-called escort fleet to support Gaza is ironic. In reality, it's more like a two-faced show by the West. Israel playing the bad cop, continuing its fierce assault on Gaza, while Italy, Spain, and Turkey played the good cop, trying to appease Arab states. The EU can't live without Middle East energy, so it doesn't dare openly side with Israel. But it also can't live without NATO's security umbrella, so it doesn't dare fall out with the US and Israel either. Stuck between the Middle East and NATO, Europe is paralyzed. Economically and militarily, the EU is neither independent nor strong. It's only good at boasting, and like this escort mission for Gaza, its blaster always bursts. Unfortunately, the global rescue flotilla for Gaza has become nothing more than a large-scale public performance. It will have position in history, but not helpful right now. This world really is absurd. The weak were slaughtered, bullies act without restraint, and even countries like China, despite staying out of wars for nearly half a century, get mocked for lacking combat experience. Meanwhile, the US and Israel are having the most battlefield experience. Does that make them lovable or great? The truth is, the United States or Israel don't attack you because you are democratic or respect human rights. It's only because your turn hasn't come yet. Unless, of course, it finds out it can't win against you. So be powerful, my friend. Follow me on Instagram.